I mean, you know, your kicker, your punter, you know, Avery Williams. I mean, these guys weren't even playing for you last year, and all of a sudden they've been such a big part of the turnaround. What do you attribute that to? I guess with those guys in particular.
Well, I think our specialists, you know, those guys do a good job. Having Joel here, we talked about Joel, and he's obviously come out and has been productive for us. Big leg on kickoff. And then you had Hayden and Quinn, which we weren't quite sure. We had those guys in spring. We didn't quite know how productive they would be. They did a good job. And, you know, so far, having those guys has been, you know, productive. We have two punters. You're able to use both guys, with Quinn in there and Joel. Both guys are a little bit different. And then Hayden has kicked very well. You know, and I think that that operation, Nick Pittman, Brock Barr on punt, those guys have all been, you know, very solid in what they've done. And then obviously having Avery back there. Avery, we knew about Said, but Avery's been a guy that we felt like could be a good addition for us in the back end and being able to return a little bit. And so far, so good.
I know how important that unit is, but I mean, in some games, I mean that's been maybe the difference between, you know, a win and a loss, depending on how they've done. I mean, how vital has that been for, you know, this season for you guys?
Yeah, our specialists. Yeah, it's been huge. I mean, they go to the last game. We had a punt return. You know, we had the punt return in the Troy game. Right. But the field position battle, it's not always, you're not always getting a return for a touchdown. You're not always going to get that kickoff return. You're not always going to have a major loss of yardage on your coverage units and all that either. So, well, go back on that again. You're not always going to have field position wins like we did in the last game. Let me just say that with touchdowns. So you can win the battle in the field position. You can win the battle if you can get yourself in position to where we can go kick some field goals and score some points as well. And those guys, operation-wise, have done it. They've done it in practice, and you know, I think it's showed up in the games.
I know recruiting is always different, but I mean, how unique is it with your kicker and your punter? Both had to, you know, almost gave up football. They both reached out to Coach Rid and said, hey, look at me kicking in my backyard, and now here they both take a chance where it didn't sound like they were promised anything except, you know, a chance to come try, and now they're both, you know, your kicker and your punter, and playing pretty big roles, and pretty crazy how it worked out.
Yeah, both their stories are very interesting. You know, I think a little bit in that specialist world it works like that, because you don't always know. These guys go to camps, they're trying to, you know, even if it's a walk-on opportunity, they're just trying to get a shot. And, you know, Hayden's a great example. Hayden came in here, you know, he just wanted to be at a place that he thought would be a good fit for him, really, is just being a part of the team. And got in here, and in springtime, Rid worked with him, he did a good job, and then the summertime, that's really, we've talked about before, players can develop themselves so much in the summer, and he came back in fall camp, and you know, it was a battle between he and Joel, and Hayden was really consistent. Quinn is a guy that, what I like about Quinn's a long, tall punter, and you know, you'd like those guys, long lever guys, and he's been really consistent. He spends a lot of time developing himself to go out there and try to, you know, be a great punter, and he's really good in the red zone. So both those guys, I think sometimes it just works like that. You're just looking for an opportunity. Everything in recruiting is about, you know, who's getting offered, you know, who you competing with, and all these things. And sometimes you got guys that just want a shot, that are really good football players, and you give them one and believe in them a little bit, they can make some good things happen.
Since the Virginia game, is there one or two things that you can kind of point at as the turnaround for these last couple of games, or is that just being too simplistic?
I think it's been a focus on, you know, just what we do. It's the process. You've heard that. Everybody talks about a process. Well, there is a process, and it's just whether it's tweaked or not, it's whatever we decide we're going to focus on, and really actually doing that, doing it consistently each day. I think that's been a big part of it. When we deviate from that, you know, we're not very good. When we follow it, and we're all on the same page, we're all aligned, you know, we can be a pretty good football team showing up to the game. We're prepared. I think the physicality in the games, the last couple of games, has showed up. You know, I think our guys have played physical. That's something that we're always talking about, but we're a good football team when we play a physical game. I think we're hard to beat when we go out there, and all three phases are playing physical, playing fast. And if you do that, you know, the team beats you, they're really good. You know, they're playing harder than you, and that just usually doesn't happen for us. So I think our guys have stepped up. Coaches have done a great job getting the guys to come out here and work throughout the week with that mindset. to show up on game day that we're going to play physical, we're going to play fast, we're going to know what we're doing, we're going to follow our process, we're going to trust in it, and hopefully that shows up when we play, and it has the last couple games.
Same tone, I guess, but last time you guys played on the field was almost a month ago. You know, that feeling walking off after the Virginia game compared to how you guys are feeling next time you take the field, the blue, has to be pretty different.
Yeah, we're happy to be back. You know, a couple games on the road. Our guys, they handled the road really well. I thought they enjoyed it. San Diego State, we have a lot of guys from California, so there was a lot of people that got a chance to see. I thought that was good energy for our players, but, you know, being back at home on the blue, I think the biggest thing is you walk out of the locker room, it says protect the blue. That means something, and really understanding that. We had a, you know, not a great performance the last time we were out here. So yeah, everybody's looking forward to getting back out in front of our crowd, to be back out here and to play better football than we obviously did. But I think we're there as a team too. Whether we're home or away, we're at a point now we want to continue to get better. You know, if we stay the same as we did against San Diego State, and people can talk about there were some really good performances in there, and there was, that's not going to be good enough. You know, we have to improve. We got to be better, and you know, we got to take advantage of playing at home too. You know, where we don't have to travel. You know, we don't have those same things on a Friday that we have to get on a plane and travel somewhere and be in a different environment. We're right here. You know, there's no excuses. That we're right here. We know what to expect, and we just got to be ready to play on Saturday night.
Against Troy, we saw a lot of, you know, Reed, Harsin, Ducros, Des Williams. It seems like, you know, Avery's moved into that spot at corner, and it looks like Cola's been playing a lot at that nickel spot. Is that, you know, a credit to those two young guys playing maybe better, or, you know, I guess maybe why haven't we seen as much of Reed and Des lately?
I think it's a credit to those guys. You know, I mean, again, the rosters are not set in stone, you know, throughout the season, so guys are still competing. The guys that are on the field, the majority of the time, they're the ones that, you know, in meetings, understand their assignment. They walk out of meetings, they're applying it to practice, and they're getting themselves opportunities to play. And those guys have showed up in games. You know, Avery's improved. He's done it in special teams, but he's improved on the defensive side in coverage. I thought he did a great job in the last game. And then Cole is a young guy, but he really understands what we're trying to accomplish and has done a great job. And that's not a knock on anybody else, but there's competition that goes on, you know, all the way throughout the season, and the coach's job is to put the best 11 guys on the field. And now there's different personnel groups and situations, but put the best 11 out there, and I think it all starts on Sunday. Your prep, your mindset, it carries over, because coaches are going to play the guys that are doing what they need to do throughout the week, because they trust them come game day. So I think it's just a credit to those guys. I think everybody's working hard, you know, doing their part, but those guys have shown, you know, significant improvement on the defensive side in particular.